Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans, GH fans like me. Listen, this recap is for Thursday, August the 11th, 2022. Thursday, August the 11th, 2022. Look, I have to start this recap patting myself on the back because guess what? I was right. I was right. You see that look on Jocelyn and Trina's face? They're checking out the hottie that's getting out the swimming pool. And Trina couldn't even finish her sentence. And Jocelyn, they were staring, and he gets out of that pool, six packed up, and boom, it's Dex. I knew it. I knew it. And Jocelyn could not take her eyes off of him. And Trina, for that matter, I was a little shocked. I'm like, girl, don't you have enough? You got Spencer, you got Rory. Don't be making Google eyes at Dex too, Trina. Slow your roll, girl. But Jocelyn, I'll bet you if Trina would have asked Jocelyn to spell Cameron's name, she wouldn't have known how to do it. That was, I was like, okay, girl, these girls are young ladies now. They are growing up. Wow. But Dex wasn't looking too shabby. Did you notice this summer they're making all the guys have six packs this summer? And Dex definitely showed I got it too. But what Dex did is he ends up calling Sonny, letting them know, him know that Jocelyn was there because Dex went over and he said, hi, Jocelyn. And Trina's looking like, you know him? How do you know Jocelyn? He goes, I ran into her the other day or something he said referencing the other day. And Trina's like, what do you mean the other day? And Jocelyn's just looking at him like, yeah, okay. So then he is, trying to make nice. And Trina introduced herself. And I'm thinking, sit down, Trina. You were just depressed 2 minutes ago. So Dex goes over and he calls Sonny, lets him know he's there. Sonny comes a little bit later. He walks over and he tells Trina, he wishes her the best. You know, he's behind her. And he says, listen, do you want something to eat? You want something to drink? It's on me. And she goes, well, I'm not hungry. Thank you, sir. And he goes, well, Dex will take care of anything you need. Jocelyn, can I talk to you for a minute? So she gets up like, okay, Sonny. So they go kind of where Dex is at now, but a little further away. And he's, you know, saying, are we good? Are we good? And she goes, I still do not like you for what you did to my mother. However, I'm grateful for what you did for my friend. And I thought, okay, see, now when it's somebody you don't like and you want Sonny to get rid of them, right? You'll be running to Sonny. See, saying, look, I'm still mad at what you did to my mother, but I need you to handle this business for me right now. Take that person out. It's funny. People hate Sonny when they hate Sonny, but they love him when they need a mob boss, don't they? So anyway, that we'll see. Tomorrow's the trial. And then we had time with Curtis and Portia. Oh, now it's time to go do it. Now it's time to go wake Oz up. But then they get there and Rory is posted outside the door. And Jordan is talking to him. So Jordan starts talking to Portia and Curtis, like, what's going on, guys? And they're like, no. She goes, I know what you're thinking. I know you want him to wake up so he can, exonerate Trina. But look, we're keeping him safe. We're making sure nothing happens. And Portia's kind of like, well, look, you know what? You really don't need the police. I'm here. Curtis is like, and I can hang out. And she's like, wait a minute. No, we need police presence by this room. And that's what we're going to have. I want to assure you, no one will get near him because I know he's needed. His testimony's needed. So Portia and Curtis go back to the office and now they're like, oh no, how am I going to get Rory away from that door, and slip in. And then now he's going to know I was the one that went in if something goes wrong. I mean, it's just a nightmare. They need to scrap that plan. period. Scrap it. Too many things could go wrong, period. They're not thinking, not one bit. And then Portia gets a call from Diane saying that, hey, she got a little informant at the courthouse and it looks like the jury is going to be coming in soon because they let them know they're working through lunch and we don't need to order dinner. So now Portia's, oh no, we run out of time. Oh no. Then we get to Trina gets the same. She finally listens to her messages because Diane had been trying to reach Trina. So she listens, and Dex is still there because Jocelyn's still talking to Sunny. And she goes, oh, and Dex is like, is everything okay? And she's like, it looks like the jury may be making a verdict soon. And so Dex goes over to Sunny and Jocelyn and says, Jocelyn, I think your friend needs you. So Jocelyn goes over and Trina tells Jocelyn what happens. And Sunny's like, what's going on? And he goes, looks like the jury's coming back in, soon. And so Sunny's like, well, we'll see how effective your muscle was, won't we? So hopefully, oh, you know what? That's Friday. Cliffhanger Friday, everybody. You want to know what we're going to hear? We, the jury, in the case of the state versus Trina Robinson, find the defendant. And we'll have to wait all weekend. That's probably what they're going to do. So now let's get to, I'm going to skim right past the boring part. Maxie and Austin. They're not a match. They have zero chemistry. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about them today. It's just not worth my time saying that Austin's getting ready to go back to Kalpak or Potok, where he came from, and couldn't tell Maxie when he's going to be home, something to do with the property manager, yada, yada, yada. Okay, no. And then we've got Anna who muscled Martin, and now Martin's trying to skedaddle out of town. And he wanted to take Lucy with him, and Lucy's like, nah, I've got too much with going on with deception, and come on now, please. Sasha's gone. Lucy knows she couldn't go to hang out with Martin for an undetermined time. And so Martin pretty much told her, some things with my ex-wives and money. I needed to keep my money to take care of my mother. So Lucy wasn't too mad at him. She says, you know what? I've done much worse, much, much worse. And you know what? Since Lucy's stock is worth so much and she's very wealthy now, she'd care less about Martin's money. But now, had she not doing deception, she was still real estate Lucy. Lucy'd be like, well, wait, you hid something that your ex-wives deserved? I don't know how comfortable I feel with that, Martin. So anyway, Martin couldn't convince her to go, and rightfully so. But he's gonna leave town. And I could tell he had a little situation with his eye, probably a little blood vessel burst there because it was all blood, really red on that one side. So he might need some time to heal. But he did go see Spencer, but Sunny had went and saw Spencer first. And, they kind of finished the conversation from yesterday about whether he was going to cooperate or not. And Spencer said that, no, because I'm not going to. I'm gonna pay the consequences. No, I'm not going to. So Sunny said, okay, he goes, it's only a month. And he goes, maybe, Spencer, it might be a month. Because see, you're not going to be doing time for what you did to Ava. This is breaking out, escaping from jail, bribing somebody. They may want to make an example of you. Are you ready for that? And so Spencer sits back. And so he's like, think about that, okay? And so Spencer just kept like talking about Trina, like it was worth it. And Uncle Sonny, can you please like try to find Esme? Because, we need her to confess, to help Trina. And Sonny's like, You're caring about somebody more than yourself? Spencer, you're maturing. Wow, you know? But then Sonny said, well, you know what? The only thing I'm going to say to you is this. You're going to make a martyr for you of yourself. And for what? So somebody else can, no, he goes, Sonny was almost saying, I don't know if it's worth it because a lot can happen. They could try to throw the book at you and I can only protect you so much from out here. But he still didn't want to, he respects his nephew's decision, standing up, taking responsibility for his actions. So Sonny stood up and gave him a nice big hug and they hugged it out. You know, did anybody notice something other than me? Perhaps it'll happen tomorrow, but it probably won't. You notice Nicholas has yet to come see his son? See, Nicholas is just the worst. You notice if we see Nicholas tomorrow, he's going to be sniffing around Ava. Hello, your son is about to be bused to prison within the hour, and you have not shown up once. I mean, I'm like, okay, father, you know? So anyway, Martin comes in and Martin lets him know he got him like a sweetheart of a deal. And it really was. It was only 10 days in Spring Ridge, not Pentonville, Spring Ridge. 10 days. All he has to do is name who got it, who helped him escape, who took the ride. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he goes, wait, look, I know you said your Uncle Victor had somebody inside, protecting and watching you, He goes, yeah, so you're one great uncle that wants me to turn on another great uncle. And then they did a little Greek, play on Greek names. We got Hades and Poseidon and all of that. And Spencer's like, I'm not going to do it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, last I checked, Victor was not in a guard uniform working for a month at Spring Ridge, right? If Spencer's diamond on anybody, it's the person Victor hired, not Victor. Now, anybody that Victor Cassadine hires, what do they know what not to do? They don't say, oh, no, little dude wasn't the one paying me. It was his uncle. No, they're going to keep their mouth shut about Victor Cassadine because Spencer Cassadine has money. So, but Spencer's going to go to prison. Well, it looks like it, unless we can get a rabbit out of the hat tomorrow. But you want to know what I thought was going to happen, or I think is going to happen? I don't know, but I'd hate to see it happen. But I think they may send Spencer to Pentonville for a month, and Trina's going to get sentenced to Pentonville. They both are going to be there, even though they're supposed to keep the men and the women separate. But didn't Alexis and Sean hang out all the time? When what's that? Nell was in there. She was seeing her and Ryan was seeing each other all the time. I kind of think they let the males and the females commingle there at Pentonville when it suits them. So that's going to be interesting. And I'm sorry, when Alexis was in Pentonville, Nicholas pulled some pretty heavy strings for Alexis. So Spencer and Trina can have some strings pulled from them. And I kind of think those two, the adventure, look, they're going to go on a little summer adventures in Pentonville. And then they're going to come out closer than ever, because what's going to happen is Trina's going to get exonerated and released because she's wrongfully imprisoned. and Spencer's going to serve whatever little time he was supposed to serve, and he's going to get out. So I don't know. That was interesting. I thought, where are they going with this? With Spencer going to Pentonville willingly, and Trina's going to get the worst news of her life, and they both are going to be in Pentonville together. I kind of think that. And Spencer's going to, like Sonny is saying, remember, keep your head down. Spencer's going to constantly be trying to protect Trina in Pentonville, but I don't know. That's just my guess. That's just my hunch. That might not be, but we shall see. Now, there was nothing else interesting to me other than that. I mean, it was pretty good. That was enough to say, okay, I can't wait for tomorrow. So I'm happy about that. But I can't wait to get to Comment Corner. We have some good comments on Comment Corner. So let me go to these comments. Darla says, Dominique was a boring character. Now remember, Dominique's supposed to be Cody's actual birth mother, but didn't raise him. She was sickly and no personality. She loved Scott and Liesl Obrecht together. I actually do too. She never thought Liesl would, she said, I never thought Liesl would grow on me, but she actually loves her now. I like Liesl Obrecht. I really, really do. And then we have a comment from Susan, and Susan says she's so proud of Spencer, you know, even when he made his statement, sticking to his statement that he made in court, that at a certain point you have to do what's right other than what's easy. And I guess he meant it because you know what? 10 days in Spring Ridge is definitely easy than an unknown amount of time in Pentonville. We shall see how that goes. She believes that Sonny is proud of Spencer. I believe that too, you know, simply by his actions. And I'm kind of skimming through your comment here, Susan. And then she's saying that she just told Sonny she didn't like what I don't like what you did to my mom, but I appreciate what you're doing for Trina. See, I know that's exactly what I was saying, right? And then she went over and gave Trina a hug after Trina told her the verdict is in, and she tried to cheer her up. And then Vivian says Sonny Carithos is in the coffee business, right? Yeah, I know. That's what he says. I'm a coffee importer. Coffee importer, then where does the mob boss come in? I didn't know there were other coffee importers in Port Charles that he has to defend his territory against. And I didn't know that coffee had enough standing to put you at the head of the table of what there used to be 5 families, now only down to 2 families, the Wu and Carithos families. But okay, we'll go with coffee importer. Yeah, that'll work. That works for him every time he's on trial, right? There we go. Here, let's see, we've got LaShanta. She says she thinks Maxie is getting suspicious of Austin. So do I. And then she says, Martin ain't nothing. He's trying to get Spencer to turn against Victor, yet Martin is running out of town because of Valentine. And she feels that Jordan is kind of on to Portia and Curtis. We shall see. I don't know. I think, well, Jordan never really solves crime anyway. No police detectives on soaps. It's rare that they do. It's always civilians and family members that solve a crime. We've got Retha. She says all network television is boring because of the commercials, but she powers through them. Yeah, I fast forward commercials as well. And LaShanta says that, no, that's for a different one. Annette says that, okay, enough of Britt and Cody. I'm with you, Annette. I'm with you. Nakisha, no, let me see. It's actually Cindy. Cindy says she wants to know if Maxie is pregnant. You mean the actress Kirsten Storm? She probably is. You want to know the reason why I say that? Shirts are getting blousier. And when she was sitting down at the table when they had a side view, she had her purse looking at the camera so that the camera would not look at her belly. That's my thing. I think she is pregnant in real life, but time will tell. Max will have to take a vacation, or actually, we'll just see it for our own eyes. You know, you can only hide it for so long. And then for some reason, she'll have to leave town. And Margot says that Dominique was originally married to Leopold Thab. Leopold was part of the cartel along with Faison, Harlan Barnett, Larry Ashton. Dominic ended up marrying Scott, and she had a terminal disease. Lucy carried the baby for her and Scott because Dominic was dying. So was that Serena? Is that the baby that Lucy carried for Scott and Dominique? And then Lorraine says, hi, it's Lorraine again. She hated, oh, she's telling me I missed the episode with Stokes talking crap to Sonny and Nina at Charlie's. I definitely missed it. If anybody knows what date that aired, see, I must have been fast forward. They must have nuzzled that through Cody and Britt and Maxie and Austin, because see, I fast forwarded a little too fast, right? But I would really like to see that. So if anybody knows what day that aired in the comments, let me know, because I want to see. Because Sonny, actually, after that happened, Sonny should have actually ordered a little hit on smokes. But anyway, Monique says she knew Cody had some connection to someone else in Port Charles. It's always the case whenever a new character comes into town. Whether they have a connection to a Cassadine, a Quartermain, a Weber, or a Spencer. I know, right? Now, mind you, he was randomly hired as a skydiver, but yeah, now he just has this connection to people here in Port Charles. And then I have a comment from Jane. Jane says, why don't they put Spencer with Trina? She would shake him up and both of them would, because they both care about each other. Yeah, you know what? You would think so, right? How much can a good girl turn a bad boy good? But Spencer, you know what? Spencer's always been spoiled. So we shall see. Spencer just cares for her and doesn't want her to go to prison. But Spencer Cassadine is still Spencer Cassadine. Jane says, I wish Spinelli and Maxie would get back together. Well, Jane, if we recall, Maxie and Spinelli were never together as a couple. Now, Maxie had been artificially inseminated with Lulu's embryo and Dante's sperm, and they put the embryo in Maxie. And remember, Maxie miscarried the baby. Maxie was so depressed and she was crying and she was so upset. Spinelli had come over to comfort her because they were friends, or he considered himself her friend. She always discounted Spinelli a lot, but you know, when he was convenient, he was convenient. So they ended up sleeping together. I mean, like, she didn't miscarry that day, but she didn't want to tell Lulu that she didn't have the baby anymore. So she was upset, crying. They were on, I remember they were sitting on the floor, their backs against her couch, and Spinelli was comforting Maxie, and then one thing led to another. And pretty much a couple weeks later, Maxie finds out she's pregnant again. So in her mind, this was her saving grace, that she doesn't have to break her best friend's heart. She will just give her baby over to Lulu. How she thought that would work in the long run, I don't know. This is actually my child with another man, Spinelli. I'm just going to give it to Lulu and Dante and say, it's yours. So anyway, yeah, we know it ended up coming out that wasn't their baby. But yeah, Maxie and Spinelli have never really ever been a couple. If anybody could think of a time that they were a couple, let me know. Let's see. Then Imda says Dominique was sick and Lucy carried her baby. Yes, Yes, that's exactly what happened. And Sandy says, GH has been awful this week. Let's hope Thursday and Friday's better. Well, today was a little better, and I think Friday's going to be pretty on. I really, really do. And then she says, thanks for the reviews. The review of the little they gave us. You know what? I tell you, I try. The comments have been better, especially Tuesday and yesterday, than the actual show. And then we've got that's it. Those are the comments. Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are the comments with Comment Corner. As I said, I will, when I reply to these comments, I'm going to reply that I publicly reply to these comments, and I'll put today's date on 8/11. This way, those people reading the comments, and if they want to hear what I said, they can go to the video, today's video, 8/11, and they can hear the end comment corner. So I will be back tomorrow. Let's hope there's a good show tomorrow, and we may have a really good cliffhanger Friday.